The cameras were rolling, the lights burning hot, and millions of viewers were tuned in when the unthinkable happened. Jasmine Crockett's voice cut like a blade through the air, her words heavy with accusation. In that moment, the carefully constructed world of the Trump family began to tremble. Melania Trump, long known for her icy composure and unshakable silence, suddenly faltered. Her face drained of color, her body stiffened, and she leaned forward as if the weight of Crockett's revelation had struck her like a physical blow. The audience gasped. The studio froze. This was not a rehearsed drama or a staged controversy. This was collapse in real time, live, raw, undeniable. For the first time, Melania Trump was no longer the distant, untouchable figure at her husband's side. She was exposed, shaken, and vulnerable, right before the eyes of the world. And Jasmine Crockett was only getting started. The setting was a primetime political debate, broadcast coast to coast, a stage where reputations are made and destroyed in seconds. Donald Trump, larger than life as always, sat rigidly, his expression caught between irritation and defiance. To his right, Melania occupied her usual position, elegant, silent, the emblem of discipline. Yet behind her stillness, cameras caught the tension mounting. Across from them sat Jasmine Crockett, unflinching, her reputation as a fearless truth-teller preceding her. She had sparred with opponents before, but tonight felt different. The stakes were higher, the nation more divided, and the Trump family's presence added gasoline to a flame that was already burning. The moderator tried to maintain order, but it was clear the debate had slipped beyond his control. Every word from Crockett drew murmurs in the audience. Every twitch from Donald drew headlines in the making. Social media was alive in real time, clips spreading before sentences even finished. In that volatile mix of power, image, and scrutiny, Crockett prepared to detonate a revelation that would shatter the evening. Melania, the woman who had weathered countless storms at her husband's side, had no idea how personal the strike would be. Jasmine Crockett leaned forward, her voice low but sharp enough to slice through the chatter of the room. "The truth has been hidden for too long," she declared, pausing just enough to let the weight of her words build pressure. Viewers at home felt it. The studio audience leaned in. Donald Trump shifted uncomfortably in his chair. But it was Melania who stiffened, her hands clutching the edge of the table as if bracing for impact. Then came the blow. Crockett revealed that behind the gilded doors of the Trump empire lay a secret affair, one that the family had fought desperately to bury. She named names, dates, and even hinted at evidence ready to be unveiled. Gasps rippled through the audience like a shockwave. The moderator tried to interject, but his words were drowned in the storm. Donald snapped back, his voice booming, calling the accusation a disgusting lie. Yet his outburst only amplified the chaos. Crockett didn't flinch. "America deserves the truth," she shot back, her words piercing the air. Pundits watching live scrambled to reframe their scripts. Commentators flooded social platforms with disbelief. Within seconds, hashtags exploded worldwide. Supporters roared in defense. Critics seized the moment with vindication. And at the center of it all sat Melania, her mask of serenity slipping, her eyes locked on Crockett with a mix of fury and fear. This was no longer politics. It was raw exposure. A battle where every word had the power to dismantle legacies. And the night was only beginning. The studio had descended into chaos, but Jasmine Crockett was far from finished. She rose slightly from her chair, her eyes locked on Melania as if every word was meant solely for her. "You can deny it all you want," Crockett said, her tone sharp and merciless, "but the truth always finds its way to the light. And tonight, the world is watching as your carefully crafted image shatters." The crowd erupted. Gasps, shouts, the crackle of disbelief sweeping through the air like electricity. Social media feeds exploded in real time. Screens across America lit up with clips and headlines that screamed of scandal and betrayal. The moderator's pleas for calm vanished beneath the roar of voices colliding inside the studio. Donald Trump slammed his hand on the table, his voice booming through the microphones. Lies. Every single word is a lie. This is an attack, a disgrace, a coordinated smear. But no matter how loud his protest, the fire had already been lit. Crockett, undeterred, cut through his fury with one final strike. If you want proof, look no further than the records we hold, the testimonies we have. Your empire has been built on secrets, and tonight one of them just collapsed. It was then that Melania broke. For years, she had endured whispers, rumors, and controversies with the same stony silence, but this time her composure cracked. Her voice, usually soft and controlled, burst out trembling yet fierce. "You will not drag me through the dirt. You will not use my family as your weapon." Her words shook the room, but they only deepened the spectacle. The audience stared in disbelief. Some whispered that they had never seen Melania so raw, so visibly shaken. Others recorded every second, certain that this moment would dominate headlines for days, maybe weeks. Donald tried to shield her with his anger, but the cameras lingered on Melania. Her raised voice, her trembling hands, her collapse into the spotlight she had tried for so long to avoid. Crockett stood motionless, letting the silence after Melania's outburst do the work for her. The damage was done. The climax was not just in the words spoken, but in the collapse itself. The unraveling of an image that had once seemed untouchable. Millions of viewers witnessed the exact second the balance shifted. And then came Crockett's final, devastating phrase. "America deserves leaders who can face the truth, not hide from it. Tonight, the mask is off." The audience erupted again. Some cheered, some jeered, but everyone knew they had just witnessed history. The debate was no longer a debate. It had transformed into a national spectacle, a rupture that no spin team could contain. The moderator sat frozen, his notes useless as the storm raged on. Every network replayed Melania's collapse, every outlet dissected Crockett's words, and every social platform fractured into tribal battlefields. For Trump loyalists, the scene was a disgrace, a carefully staged ambush meant to humiliate a family they revered. They flooded the internet with furious defenses, attacking Crockett, attacking the media, insisting the story was fabrication. Yet even their rage could not erase the images already seared into the public consciousness. For Trump's critics, it was vindication, long-awaited confirmation that behind the golden curtains of wealth and power lay secrets too fragile to endure the light. They shared clips endlessly, attaching captions of triumph. "The empire is crumbling. The mask has slipped. The truth is finally here." But beyond the partisan spin, what lingered was the raw, human unraveling. Melania Trump, a woman long seen as composed, aloof, and impenetrable, had been dragged into the storm and broken before the eyes of the world. Her collapse was more than a personal moment. It became a symbol of how power corrodes, how secrets consume, and how truth, once unleashed, cannot be restrained. Jasmine Crockett, standing tall amid the wreckage, left the studio not as a controversial voice, but as a political force impossible to ignore. Her fearless defiance ignited debates in Congress, dinner tables, and street corners alike. To some, she was reckless. To others, she was the lone figure daring to confront power head-on. Either way, her words had rewritten the narrative. The broadcast ended, but the story did not. Clips of the confrontation looped endlessly, headlines screamed of scandal, and late-night comedians wove the drama into monologues. The fallout stretched across continents, making Melania's collapse not just a family crisis, but a global conversation about truth, image, and the price of silence. And so, as the lights dimmed and the cameras powered down, one reality stood unshaken. No matter how fiercely the Trumps fought to control the narrative, one night, one revelation, one collapse had changed everything. The facade was broken, the truth had escaped, and America would never look at them the same way again.